want to do, already I told, na, JPA actually it is just like that recipe book. So someone want to do recipe means they have to implement the whatever the rules you have in the recipe book. Someone have to implement. So that's why this Hibernate actually it is implement that JPA specifications. Whatever the specifications you have in JPA, that is going to be implemented by your Hibernate. So you have, this is the Hibernate. You are, this is your application. This is your Java application. Through Hibernate, you are connecting the database. Yes. You are connecting to database. So this is a lot of technical difference you have. We can learn afterwards. But something at any time you want to have some clear idea of JPA and Hibernate. JPA, just to keep in this mind, the JPA is just a similar to recipe book. So recipe book, you'll have lot of rules, uh, ingredients, everything. For each and every recipe, you have that rules, everything you'll have it. Hibernate, chef, it's a Hibernate is just like that chef. So chef wants to prepare some recipe, he will follow the rules. He will implement the rules. That is that Hibernate. Okay. So you have just why we want to go with instead of already we learned what are the drawbacks we have in JDBC. Now we why what are the features we have in Hibernate that we can learn. Actually, you have this Hibernate. Actually, it is open source, so easily you can download. It's lightweight, and also you have it is platform actually database independent. Database independent means actually once if you write that HQL query instead of SQL, here you are going to write Hibernate query language. So this query language, it is going to be common for all the database. Backend, it may be MySQL or Oracle or PostgreSQL, anything. But HQL, the query will be common for all the database. That is the thing. That's why this is database independent. Once if you're going with Hibernate, the change of database, it's somewhat very easy. That is also one of the reason. And also most of the time we will do some joining operations. Suppose we want to take any printouts, we will do we want to join the tables, isn't it? So that joining, it will be somewhat very easy in Hibernate. And also you have it will give fast performance. And also in JDBC, I mean, how many of you have connected database using JDBC? I don't know, but I think if you are going with JDBC in database, actually you should have table and also database and table. Both you should have it. Only through query you can insert, you can update or delete, or you can retrieve the records. That only you can do. Actually, before connecting the database, you should have both database and table. Both you should have it. But here in Hibernate, it's not like that. Only if you have database name, that's enough. Automatically, the table will be created. You no need to create a table in your database. That is also one of the advantage. You have it support that caching. Caching means actually sometime frequently I am accessing some records. Accessing some records from the database means that records always always if you're going to hit the database, then you are retrieving the data, means it will take some time, isn't it? So what is the concept you have in Hibernate? Actually, you have the cache concept. Cache means the frequently accessed records, it will be in the cache. So instead of going with the database, it will be, you'll get it from that actually from the cache you will get it. So this is somewhat, this is also your time, easily you will get it. Your speed of retrieving data, it's somewhat it's higher. That's why these are the advantages of Hibernate you have. So this is the architecture of your Hibernate. So this is your application. You have 4 layers you have. So this is your application. This is your Hibernate framework layer. This is your backend of your Hibernate. Actually, you have JDBC only. JDBC API only you have. This is API layer. Then database. This is your original database. So we'll see what is this and all. We will see next. Before that, actually, this is the horizontal view of this architecture, isn't it? So instead of that, I want to show one vertical view also. This is your application. After that, from your application, your object, it will transfer to, it will be given to your Hibernate framework layer. So there only you have a lot of things. Actually insert, update, delete, all operations how you want to do, that's you're doing. Back of your framework layer, actually you have JDBC. So JDBC, whatever you have written in object form, someone is going to write in a query. That you have the backend of your Hibernate. You have, actually you have API layer, that is database layer you have, that is JDBC layer you have. Then this is your database layer. So your object, it will move, it will flow in this way. So actually just, and also I want to teach this one also. So what are this each and every layer? So here you are writing the program, you want to, actually this is your main Java program or your application or your project. This is your main one. So from here you want to read, you want to, from here to, you want, actually you just consider your application, it is one end of the river, another end of the river you have the database. Okay, so you what you want to do, from your application to, you want to store some data in the database. Sometime you want to retrieve some data from your database, from database to your application, so that you have to do. So this is your application layer. Hibernate layer, actually it is a lot of components are there, actually
Ma'am,
session
can you
factory,
explain again
session.
the three layers?
Which one? Which one, ma?
The three layers
Yes,
have hibernate.
actually four layers. This is ma, actually. Listen, which layer you want to explain? I'll explain this one briefly. Don't worry. This is very important layer. I'll explain this one briefly. This is your application. This is a Hibernate framework layer. This is your API layer. This is actually back of your Hibernate. You have database JDBC API layer only. You have that. You have the database. Some maybe API or JTA, any or anyone you have, this one it will convert into that particular query, and it will your data, it will be stored. Someone is going to do that. So instead of actually you no need to write the query. So this one it will take. So that's why you have that MySQL dialect, you have libraries. I'll explain this one. Okay, so this is the layer. So I'll explain this one, ma. This is the very important layer. I'll explain what is session factory, what is session and transaction, everything I'll explain. So this is just, I want to give the overall view here. So okay, here backend you have, these are that by using these API, any one of the API, maybe JDBC API or JTA API, Java transaction APIs or any Indie API, any through any API, you are connecting with the database. So please keep this one in your mind. So back of your Hibernate, you have APIs only. So API means any one of the API, maybe JDBC or JTA or Indie API you have. Through that only you are connecting the database. Okay, this is your last layer. Actually, it is a database layer. So this one, actually, this one I want to give the clear idea. That is what is configuration, what is session factory, session transaction. This you have in your Hibernate. This is you have in your Hibernate. Okay, so here, listen, actually your configuration, what it will do, actually it will map that. So you have the information about your database, what is your database username, password, and your URL, everything. So that is database information. And mapping information means that which table you want to make it as a which class you want to make it as a table in database. That mapping information, everything is available in your configuration file. So that it's it will, with the help of this configuration details, what you will do, you will make a session factory. You will build a session factory. Session factory means it's a bridge. Actually, you are one end of the river, you have Java, your application. Another end of river, you have your database. So between you want to travel that another end of river means you have to make bridge, isn't it? That bridge, actually, it is the session factory. Next session. So this is just like that. The session factory, it will create lot of sessions. So once once the bridge is constructed, lot of vehicle can go, lot of persons can go, like a lot of vehicle and persons. Just similar that your sessions. So your session is similar. So once, if you constructed the bridge between your application and database, session factory, if you have created, lot of sessions, the session factory, through that session factory, lot of sessions can be created, isn't it? So through that bridge, lot of person or lot of vehicle can travel. So the same thing. So someone is through session, you are going to do this one. You are going to travel that. So that session factory, it is a this is permanent one. This is a short-lived object session. If you are creating, so once you can close it also. Yes. Anybody having doubt? Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next, transaction. Transaction means what? So someone is going to do the operation, isn't it? Sometime you have this is acid property. That is do or die. Do or die means, actually, once if you reached that other end of the river, that is you have inserted the record or updated the record, it's safe. Sometime you have some problem. Please someone have it mute. Please mute yourself. Someone having mute, please mute yourself. Yes. So the transaction, it is actually you have some in bridge, you have some problem. You are not able to reach. That means you have to come again. You have to come to that starting end, isn't it? That is going to be done. That is going to be done in the transactions. So this is query and criteria. Actually, through that only you will do that all the operations. Create query, and this one only you will do all the operations. So I'll explain this one once. If you otherwise, I'll go with one simple. This what I have already. I explained this one. No? This I can't control all. Somewhat I make it bigger. Sorry. Yes. 1 minute. Control alt. This one. I'm not able to. Sorry. Okay. Actually, I haven't logged into my actually Microsoft 365. That's why I'm not able to edit. Okay, no problem. See here. So your bridge is actually session factory. It is bridge. Okay. So your session is a vehicle or a person crossing the bridge. So session factory, once the session is created, when the session factory is created, anyone can travel in the bridge. That is the session. So your session is going to do all the operation. Your session, it's a short-lived, lightweight object. this it will handle that CRUD operation. Your session only it's going to do. Someone or some vehicle will travel and it will do all the operations. Okay, like a transaction, actually it's a whether you have, if you have reached that other end, you have done the operation perfectly, means you can do that commit. Otherwise, in between, when you travel that bridge, that time you have some problem. Because of that, you are not able to complete the task. You can do that rollback. This action, it's going to be done by using that transaction. So here, this is the practical real life analogy for your framework. Sorry, for Hibernate framework layer. So these are the important components you have in your Hibernate framework. So this is the practical. If something it's a real life, if you are matching, so you will get a clear idea, isn't it? That's why you have this. So once everything it's clear. This one Hibernate component, it's clear. It's clear, everyone. Hibernate component, Mittal, okay. What about others? I need a response from each and every one of you. Mavati, okay. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you. Okay. Next, this is also, it's actually we can see afterwards. This is Hibernate object states. Actually, you are going to create a class for your entity class. You are going to create object, isn't it? That object, it will travel into a lot of states that we will see afterwards. Actually, so before that, actually, sorry, this one. So directly we can go with that. So what we till now what we have seen, actually, any we have seen what is the disadvantage we have in JDBC. So why we want to go with Hibernate and Hibernate basics. Hibernate basics means what is JPA, what is ORM, what is Hibernate, then architecture inside Hibernate, how it is working. That's somewhat we learned. Okay. Now, actually, we can go with simple project. Okay, so actually, everyone, please create Maven project. Then, already in JDBC also, if you want to connect database using JDBC, you will use MySQL connector libraries, isn't it? The same way, you should add Hibernate dependencies libraries that you have to add it in your project. Then this one, what is Hibernate configuration? What is this one you have to do? And this is also Hibernate util. I want to explain this. These two are somewhat a new concept here, isn't it? I'll explain this. So this one, everyone, many of you, know how to create Maven project, and like the JDBC here also, you are going to add that Hibernate dependencies you have to add. I'll share it in chat. You can add those dependencies. This is what is Hibernate configuration. So let 1 minute. This one. This is actually your dependencies. This is the dependency you have to add it in your Maven project. In your add. So this is, you have 3 dependencies you have actually. So this is the Hibernate core dependencies. Actually, if you want to work with the session factory, session, everything, it is a class, built-in class. So that you want to, because each and every class you have some built-in method, isn't it? You want to access those method, you have to include those classes in your project, isn't it? That's why. So this is uh, all the classes, built-in classes you have, Hibernate classes you have in your Hibernate core. So I know already I have told back of your Hibernate you have MySQL connector J. So that's why you have this one. And this one actually MySQL actually Jakarta persistence API. What is Jakarta? Jakarta means actually this is the annotations. So how annotations, actually you have a lot of annotations. If you want to map that your entity class to actually the database, you have to map, you have to configure. That's why you have this one. Hibernate configuration. Hibernate configuration means actually you have to connect, you should tell the details, isn't it? First, what is the database details, and also that Hibernate settings information. Hibernate settings, I'll explain this one. And mapping information also. Mapping means which class you want to make it as a table, and which column you want to make it as a primary field. Like you have to define that. So that mapping informations you have to tell. Map here, in here, what is the map? The mapping information is the annotations. Through annotation you will inform that one, but here the mapping information means actually the what are the entity classes you want to make it as a table. That's you have to tell. This is the mapping information you have to tell. So you can configure that Hibernate in two ways. One is using XML file, that is Hibernate CFG XML file. Another one is using properties file. So this is somewhat a properties file. It's somewhat similar to key value pair. Actually, for each keys, you have to give the values for your database, for your MySQL. What is the username, password, and which database you are going to connect. Everything, it is a key. You should give it as a value like that. Instead of that, you can give it as a XML file also. So actually, compared to this one it is mostly used nowadays because the annotation you can use it here in XML file only. You can use that annotation. If you are going with that properties, there you have to mention that even class, which class you want to make it as a table, you have to make it in that properties only. So that's why this is somewhat this annotation concept. This one only it's mostly used. Okay, if I show it will be clear. So this is actually here, 1 minute. So this is, you have some idea of configuration. Something, I think it's both these two steps, it will be clear to everyone, I think so, because it's similar to JDBC. You know how to create Maven project and add dependency. Here also you are going to add 3 dependencies. But this one, once if I show practically, you will get a clear idea. This one also. Hibernate util actually some util, utility file, utility class, something we will utility. What is utility class? Any idea of utility class? How many of you know utility class? What is utility class? What is utility class? Any one of you? I need answer from chat, otherwise.
A collection of static
Listen.
methods and variables.
Yes. Can you? Yes. Gupta, can you repeat again? Sorry. Gupta? Yes, Gupta.
A collection of static method and variable.
Yes, good. Very good, Harshal. Good, Harshal. Actually, utility class means all the methods and variables inside the class will be static. So what is that? Actually, without using object, you can call the method, you can call the variable. That is the use of your utility class. Sometimes some methods anyone have to be used. Means that those method you have to declare as a static. So that you will keep it in that utility class. That class it is going to be called as utility class, means anyone can use it without object. Without creating object, anyone can use it. That is the concept of your utility class. So here actually what I'm doing here, I'm going to create Hibernate util. Hibernate util class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the bridge. So once the bridge is created, anyone can use that bridge. By using that bridge, anyone can create, anyone can travel, anyone can create sessions. Through sessions can do the operations. That's why I have this Hibernate util class. Okay. So these are the thing you have. So next we are going to create a project. So this project actually you just keep your project like this: entity, util, and main, and resources you have in your Maven project. Let me 1 minute. So here I don't have. First I'll open that Eclipse. Okay, so you have create the package in.
Ma'am, can you please plug your laptop?
Vijay, you are not audible.